One of the most common print challenges is getting documents created in Microsoft Office applications to print with accurate brand colors. Fiery TrueBrand makes it easy for anyone to map a set of RGB color values, like you'd get in PowerPoint or Word, to a correct brand color, like a Pantone, in just a few clicks. And the best part is that no advanced color knowledge is required. So let's see how simple it is to use. My organization's marketing department has defined the exact brand colors that should be used when we print the company logo. They've defined two specific Pantone colors, Pantone 7635C and Pantone 7690C. And then they've also defined the alternate RGB, red, green, blue, values. I know that using the Pantone color will produce the best possible output to match marketing's brand guidelines. However, it's not possible to use Pantone colors, or any spot colors for that matter, when using Microsoft Office applications. But that's where Fiery TrueBrand comes in. So I've got this PowerPoint presentation here, which is including the company logo, and you can also see company colors that have been used throughout it. So in my file, I can use the eyedropper to mouse over my logo colors to see their RGB values. So here you see the red is defined as 210, 3542, and this turquoise is defined as 0, 116, 160. These are also the same RGB colors that are used in the solid color blocks on these two slides, as you can see here. There we go, we've got the same colors. So I can use the Fiery TrueBrand application to match these RGB values up with the right Pantone color so my files will print with accurate brand colors. To get to TrueBrand, I use File Print to access the Fiery print driver, and then I click on Printer Properties. Once I'm in the driver, I go to the Tools tab. The access point is the same whether you're using either the main Fiery driver or the Fiery Essential driver. And I'll launch TrueBrand, which opens a browser window. Make sure you say OK to the warning about the connection. If you regularly log on to your Fiery server via Fiery Command Workstation, enter that username or password here. Otherwise, we recommend using the operator login. My server is set up to not require a password, but please check with your IT administrator to determine what your operator password is. And let's get started. Now we will need those organizational brand guidelines again. So in TrueBrand, we're mapping a brand color on the Fiery server, like a Pantone color or another named color, to RGB values, which is what you get from Word or PowerPoint. So let's start with the red. I will type in 7635 in the search bar, and I'll pick the color that's in the Pantone Solid Coded V4 library. Now I will enter my corresponding RGB values. And you'll see a preview, noting that we're seeing a significant visual difference on screen between the RGB values and the brand color. So we'll save, and now we'll enter our other logo color, which is Pantone 7690. I'll choose this one again. Then I'll enter my RGB values and click Save. And that's it. Now every time you print a document that has these RGB values, it'll map to the correct brand color and it will print correctly on the Fiery server. You just set it and forget it. And best of all, the settings apply for all users, so anyone printing to the Fiery server will be able to print with accurate brand colors. So now we can exit out of TrueBrand, go back to the print driver, choose whatever properties that I want to have for my job, and then I would print my file as usual. So let's look at an example of the visual differences in the logo colors with and without Fiery TrueBrand. So here's what we saw in PowerPoint. And here's what the document would look like if we left the RGB values as is. Now, here's the document printed after TrueBrand mapped the RGB values to the correct brand color. There's a big visual difference there. And if we look at the swatch for the Pantone color that's been defined by marketing, you'll see that it matches the output produced using TrueBrand. So this is a perfect example of the visual impact using Fiery TrueBrand can have in ensuring output of accurate brand colors with no advanced color knowledge required.